Alright, welcome to episode 46 of History Rewritten. In the last episode we had World War II, this timeline's version of World War II, which was a lot of fun to record for me. It took like an hour and 11 minutes, so that was with the talk about the New World borders, which I can go through briefly if you want. You get no input on that, so I'm going to do it anyway. Just look at Sweden, got a whole lot of islands. There are new countries in the Balkans and Eastern Europe, Crimea's back strength, the Arabian Union, Cyprus is now Arabic, got some new countries over here. Bubble teams back in Italy, that's crazy. This is most of the exciting stuff. India, doesn't look like much of India anymore. Bengal isn't just Bengal. Green team, still the same. China, still the same except for all this stuff. It's like North Vanuatu is independent, Solomon Islands, Australia, North Philippines, Taiwan, or North South China is not in a good way. Korea's got some more land that they love, the South Japanese Islands, and this giant island country is now independent. I've done their capital city, which is on this island over here. So, despite the fact these guys are falling apart, great, a new country just dropped. I love it. So today we're going to see some more decolonization and some of the things that are starting to ramp up in the world. It's going to be very exciting, I feel. So let's get on with that. The war ended in 1947. June of 1947, because the Green Team dropped an atomic bomb on an Arabic city, which would have been this city right here. This one. Right in the middle of the desert. You know, people go to pilgrimages places in the middle of and I mean this one. This is the one. It was this city over here. It's one of the oldest cities in the world, I think. Even still, it's this city, not this one. This one. Because a ton of people went to this one. Sorry, because it's an ancient festival that's been happening for thousands of years. To go there and go on a pilgrimage to that area, so they all got blown to pieces. Lovely. And also doing a huge rebuilding project there, because it's a very old city. By lovely, I was using sarcasm, of course. Blowing a load of people up is not a nice thing. Just so you didn't think I was an absolute psycho. I like sarcasm. Sarcasm is also fun. But yeah, I don't think you should blow up loads of people. Don't do it. Anyway, I'm just changing the Arabic Union's major cities. I might just keep them on there, just so it's a religious one. And let's get over some of the events of today's video. So, let's look at the civil war happening in South China, and explain the different factions. So, the Europeans, mostly the French, really, they were kind of the ones who divided up this sort of area. Also, with like the help of China and Bengal and a bit of input from Myanmar and Vietnam, but not loads. They helped to divide up China into South China into two new states and also an independent Vietnamese country. Again, they're back. It's the one that used to be like down here, and now they're in Vietnam. So they're not really pleased about that, but it's alright. Anyway, because the Chinese Union, the South Chinese Union, was a combination of loads of countries that united during the middle of a war when they were being destroyed. There wasn't really any idea of which party should rule this country. People have been taken out of certain seats in government, who to replace them with, and I was like, well, I think we should do these people, and I think we should do these people. And who's going to be your leader? Because it was kind of like a lot of leaders, but now it's an idea of you need one leader, like one party, whatever. There's a big civil war happening in each of these countries. This, as long as explain the factions, I suppose. This one is the old blue Indian country that was down here. Yeah, up there. The orange one was the dark orange one. The grey one was this central Chinese one over here. These two orange ones are yellowish ones are on two different sides of countries, but their plan is to unite. They're the old union government. They would like to take control of both these countries and then unite them once again to reform the union, although France might not be too happy with that. The brown one is the old sort of brownish one that was here, purple one that was here, and the blue one is the old Korean colony, who received their independence, kind of, but they got absorbed into this. So let's have a look at a big old civil war. So the blue team is going to start their push into the orange country. I've never really done fights like this, but I don't have the borders between these areas because it's very unsure of which bit's which bit, so they can kind of do it like that. The orange team is being invaded, whilst the grey country, actually with 2 major cities, is pushing into the Union territory, and they're gunning for their capital city, their only major city. So they're doing pretty well on that front, and they're kind of holding back the other Union forces in the east because people from the Eastern Union, are kind of trying to help out. You have the orange team moving into this area of this country and managing to close down and take down the capital. This leads to the grey country kind of absorbing most of this territory, although areas are still a little bit being held onto by these guys. As for this now, the orange team will be pushed back a lot by the blue country, who's going to try and take these new areas as they meet up with the border of the grey team. The grey team, however, will begin their push into the blue team as they see them as the biggest threat, by taking this major city and beginning the push towards the capital of the blue country. So they manage to take a lot of land along here. I don't want to mess up these borders because I don't know how far the back button is going to go. I hope it goes a long way, but I'm not quite sure. So those areas are kind of closed down. But yeah. The orange country has now started their new push. Don't worry about these bits. It's just that I want to make sure I remember the border. So they're starting a new push towards the capital city of this grey country, which is up here in the north. As for the blue one now, the orange team is starting a renewed push towards their capital, and it looks like them and the grey team might be able to take it, as orange team troops take this huge area, and the grey team will manage to take this section. So all of that will fall to them, whilst the orange team takes this bit. Orange team troops will surround the capital, and with the aid of the yellowish country, they push towards their other major city, about here. However, the orange team will take both of these areas, and the grey team's kind of falling apart, as the blue team will reappear down here in the south. Its forces take hold once again. The orange team's quick to split them up, and with yellow team support in the east, they're not really on their side. The orange team will manage to close down the various rebellious forces. The yellow team takes this bit, but they're not going to win, unfortunately, and the orange team will win in northern China. So, how far can we go back? Not very far, apparently. So good thing I didn't destroy any of the borders. I suppose we'll get to the orange team in a little while. But yeah, so they won in that area. And this is kind of happening simultaneously, but not entirely. The dark blue country is going to start their push into the purple country, who's by far the strongest country, or strongest country in this area. So dark blue country is having quite a lot of success with this, although not entirely. The main reason they're having lots of success is because these guys, the yellow country and the brown country, are both pushing in. However, they can't manage to take these 2 major cities up here. The brown country isn't going to do loads. The capital of the purple country is this city over here. The rest of them, your capital's down here, your capital is over here, your capital's over there. They're 1 major city. That's where their capital is. The brown team isn't really being too successful. The dark blue country manages to surround the capital, and after a bit more work, they will take the area. As the remainder of this, the yellow country closes down that area and takes these 2 remaining major cities, and the brown team will take this bit from here. Yellow team forces will push and spearhead down towards the capital of the blue country, and the brown team will take these areas. As the yellow team manages to take out the rest of the country, the brown head brown head. The brown team will spearhead towards, kind of pincer movement actually, towards these two very important major cities, and once they manage to surround them, they close in on the cities and eventually will capture them. This also helps them to take this area, and now it's not looking so good for the yellow country. Orange team troops, who have now just finished off the eastern side, will make their way into this. They take the capital, and the brown team will meet up with them, I suppose. Yeah, they will. And let's work out a peace treaty between these two sides, as the brown team and the orange team don't immediately start fighting each other. I just need to find which colours they had. China, 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 where are you? Okay. That's the wrong China. Oh well. $50 on beige. That's not beige, that's brown. Oh, I appear to be a complete genius. Great. So they've got all this, and the orange team. Orange team, there we go. Well done, Mr. Orange team. Taking all this territory. This bit is quite a contested region, so the orange team will be receiving a bit of this territory. They get quite a lot of the land, however, they are not allowed to take the city, which is given back to the brownish, greyish country. I don't know. So yeah, that was the end of the South Chinese Civil War, and unfortunately for some people, they did not manage to unite the two countries. I'm also just gonna do this. There's a few random blue spots on this map. I think if you do it with the actual colour, like if I did the orange over, it might leave some spot. Actually, it might not. Oh well, I've done it now. The orange team will be able to annex all of this. And I mean, if both of these countries ever go to war, this city is screwed. Like, you're not surviving this war. These guys are going to be so much stronger. They are actually stronger, so yeah. They'll probably just get taken and then lost. The capital, the orange team, I think I said it was Oda City, so that's where their capital is going to be anyway. And the capital of this country will be... Actually, your capital might have been up here somewhere, I feel. Even still, it's going to be in this city over there. As we can see, there's more conflicts in China because Taiwan and South Taiwan hate each other. But there you go. There's China for the moment. Looks alright. Let's get down to some decolonization though, because it's approaching 1949. It took a year and a half for the blue team to write their colonies, but over that year and a half, they've kind of like, can you fix out all our problems, and then as soon as they fix the problems, give us independence. So, yeah, the blue team's going to do that, and let's get ready for some independence stuff. First off, we go to Barbados. I mean, lots of this will happen on the same day, because they're all independence at once. So Barbados will receive their independence. It's the most easterly of the Lesser Antilles. Great. But you're glad that you now know that crucial piece of information. However, that was quite simple, but the Uruguay one is going to be a lot less simple, because, you know, they had a long time to think about, oh, how would we like to divide up our country? So people seem to really like the idea. They have extra time to think about stuff, of making it really complicated, which is what these guys did. So they've overcomplicated this to quite a degree, a pretty huge degree. And they're now going to split up this relatively small colony into 3 different nations. So, great idea. In the north we will have a bluish one. Oh, yeah, too. No. Let's put a green one in there. I quite like that idea. Greenish colored nation in the north. Boom. They have 1 major city, so I bet you can guess where their capital is going to be. I feel I might have some more in this area, so I might need to update the major city map. Now this one is going to be blue. There you go. And the southern one can be purple. What? 160. That'd be interesting. Hopefully it'll be purple anyway. I'm trying to make it colour. Oh, that's alright. Yeah. That's pretty okay. I need to record all these things, that's the problem. I need to record a load of colours, because otherwise I'll forget them. So, give me a brief moment. Sorry. So, this green one was without any blue. 0 blue. Come on. I suppose they cut this out, but it takes so much longer, and I don't have the patience for that. 0 green. And what were you? Purplish country? 160 red and 0 green. Anyway, there we go, sorry about that. There's these three nations, let's do their capitals. So the purple one will put their capital in their most northern major city, which is going to be this one. I kind of thought it was, I said, oh, it's going to be in that one. And I went, oh, they could put it here then, but they're not going to. They're going to put it, this is like Buenos Aires, isn't it? Anyway, they're going to put it there. This one will have their capital right here, and the green one will put their capital on the coast there. So these are the first independent nations in South America, and it looks pretty nice. As for North America, Barbados, I suppose, the first independent nation here, so that's exciting. And let's go to the Andaman Islands. Great. What a giant colony this is. So they will receive their independence. They were once an Indian colony, but the blue team stole them. So that's how this came to be. They have two major cities, so their capital is going to be, well, this southern one. Let's put it there. Our next new nation. It's pretty exciting. And then the next day, in 1949, we'll have independence granted to Sicily and Sardinia. There's a lot more to go over with because these colonies have been around for a lot longer. They're kind of a bit more reluctant to give them up, which is understandable, I'd say. Which camera do we want? Right, so there's Sardinia's independence and Sicily. Which colour do you want to make Sicily? Does it work? Yeah, there we go. Alright, so Sicily's received their independence as well as Sardinia. And your capital can be in the south. Probably need more major cities than just one. And your capital will be right over here in the western regions. So they've lost all their colonies. There's still a bit of talk about, like, what about all this southern stuff that you own? This was all taken during the Berlin-Amsterdam conference thing. Was it Toulouse conference? I thought it was Amsterdam, because it could have been. But all this is effectively colonized land because they took it during a treaty in which they divided up Africa. So some people are wondering, is this colonized land? But no, we're just expanding there to stop other colonial powers taking it. Because just imagine the purple team had all of this land as well. You know, you wouldn't want Iberia to have even more land. Libya turned out to be the same colour. So yeah, they're allowed to keep that for the moment, and they're still a very powerful country. Their colonies weren't a really huge part of their economy, like some colonies are. For example, Brazil, the US one in the UK, Mexico, the Korean one. Colonies like that make up a lot of their economy. So it's alright letting them go. Well, let's look at some other colonies who are going to receive their independence, such as this Tasmanian one down here in Australia. The Bretons haven't been a huge colonial power, really, across their history, so it kind of makes sense that decolonization would come quite quickly to these guys. So Tasmania, kind of inspired by independence in northeastern Australia, which is this country, because the Chinese gave them independence just 2 years ago, because they're forced to in the treaty. And now Tasmania has received their independence. Not going to be a huge blow to the economy of Brittany, because this is the island of Tasmania. Also, do we want to give the Tasmans this island? Nobody apparently owns this island, but I think these guys should. So they're gonna have it. I don't know. I like it when countries own islands far away. Like over here, there's the colonies have this island, and the Catalonians have this island. I don't know. It's a strange thing. Owning faraway islands, enjoying the idea of owning faraway islands, might just be a British thing. I'm not sure. I had to ask around. Yeah. So I think there might be some more independent countries further on in this video. Or actually, there will be. But we'll get to that later. Because let's talk about... To be fair, we could do it now. Now let's carry on with our independence spree. Yeah, independence spree. I love this way of making colours, but it's bizarre. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted by colours. I really like all the different colours. It's cool. Anyway, there's a lot of different colours in this. So I've got some sort of cough. I just endless coughs. That's what I receive, which is not very fun. So down here in Cuba, unfortunately, the Grenadans will have to give up the eastern part of this island, which is the bit they settled more recently, but wasn't that long ago. It's just that they got this bit first, and this bit's more loyal to their colony. This is the South Bahamian colony, and this bit is kind of separated. So they're going to be granting them independence because of the huge movement for independence in this colony. So these borders are going to look something like this. Boom. Independent East Cuba. And their capital will be over here. Cool. They've still got the western Cuba, I mean. Sorry, they've still got the eastern side, however, you know. Actually, these guys are pretty loyal over here in the east, inside of Cuba, so I might be able to keep that for a while. Normal green Sardinia. Weird. Oh my god. Sicily. Max Salmon. Sorry, I just need to remember these colours because otherwise I'll never remember them again. Far right mid go to 80. There we go. Sorry. Might see some more stuff happen in the Caribbean though, because various islands over here do want their independence, such as these random Norwegian islands that have just been here doing absolutely nothing. The Norwegians have owned them for a very long time, and it's about time. Wow. About time to give them independence. They have a pretty huge movement. The Norwegians don't do much with them. I can almost guarantee that you forgot they existed, because I forgot they existed, to be honest. So the Norwegians will grant them their independence, and there we go. Random Bahamas have received their own country. Let's put their capital on this random yellow country. Wonderful idea. It could be on this island over here. Alright, cool. There's their capital. It's pretty hard to see. We could put them in a box, couldn't we? Why has the box got... what did they do with my box? I guess we could, but nah, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, so another new independent nation down there. And I kind of want to clear out this bit a lot. Fine, yeah, with the Barbados thing, I mean, I was going to do it sometime. With the Barbados movement, lots of these countries want their independence. However, they realise that, tell you what, we're not all going to survive as independent countries because they're random islands in an area which is pretty prone to severe storms. So let's all unite together. I mean, of course, all these islands in our reality haven't united together. In fact, lots of them didn't want to really. I'm pretty sure there's like some unhappiness in Antigua and Barbuda because I was at St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's always that one of the islands is better than the other, so the other one gets neglected. But no, well, that's the way of things, I suppose. Bit sad though. So all these islands have united together. Initially, I was going to give them all their own independence. Wait a minute. One of them was not meant to join this union. That was you guys. You guys were actually meant to be different. Oh no. This is going to take a very long time, I feel. Maybe not. We're speeding through it now. It's going at such a fast pace. It's impossible to see. It's like a blur. They've already crossed the final border. The Norwegian colony. Right, there we go. So a lot of countries have lost their first colonies, such as the Terracotta, the Swedes, the Norwegians, the Istrians, some other guys, I don't know. Not the Grenadian one. They've kept that colony. But the capital of this huge Lesser Antilles country will be on Barbados. So there we go, we're putting that there. And another new limeage coloured nation in the Americas. Back to alliances though, because we need to talk about alliances. So, of course, the big Eurasian alliance that we had, it's disappeared now. That thing was not going to stay around after the war. They weren't going to allow it to stay around, because of course they weren't. So, that's that. The Western European alliance between Britain, Ireland, France, Norway, Sweden has grown to add the Terracotta Nation. They've recently joined this alliance. Unfortunately for the blue country in Northern Africa, they have been forced to kick everyone out of the alliance. Because they're more of a situational thing. Sorry guys. Although they did tell Catalonia, and it's kind of applied towards Iberia, but not in the same way. They were like, Catalonia, if you decolonize fully and give independence to all of your colonies, we will allow you to return into this alliance. So, looks good for Catalonia. Also the new Libyan country, you know, this one over here, this ugly thing, I don't know. It's not ugly, I kind of like it to be honest. I mean, our other land is useless, they're effectively just this bit with a load of sand. But, yeah, so the new country there, they kind of want to reform the old North African alliance. I mean, they've never been part of it because they've never existed before, but their ancestors have, you know, the old Libyan state. Something like this. Actually, it's probably a bit more like this, wasn't it? I don't really remember. There was a small purple country that was over here once. Actually, not that long ago. It was like episode 38 or something. Only 8 episodes ago. Crikey. There's that though. Other alliances. As for the other alliances, the Aegean Alliance, they still have Greece and Crete, but they've gained a new member, which is a new Slavic sort of country, is the Thracians. So this new, very bright green country that I quite like. For some reason I'm just like, oh look, they got a load of random islands. We're kind of Cretan, so the Cretes kind of want those islands back. But, oh well, you're not going to get them back. These guys have recently joined this alliance because, the yellow team really wants this country. They would love to annex them. Because then they get a load of their old Thracian stuff back, a load of islands, and a coastline, the Aegean and then the Greater Mediterranean. Because as it is, they have to go through, to like export stuff, they have to go through the Bosphorus, which is controlled by Crete. And you don't want it to be controlled by Crete, you know. Crete doesn't really like you that much, because you destroy their empire and oppress a lot of their people in Anatolia. So, bad. So, there's that. These guys have recently joined the alliance. Cool. What other alliances were there? I feel like there were some. This South Asian Syndicate Alliance is kind of going less of a thing. You know, the Arabic Union kind of drifting away from it. I mean, they're still part of it, they're still pretty good friends, but have a less of an interest in India itself. It's more Bengal, you focus on that bit. We're going to look at some other stuff. Also, let's have a look at Bengali major cities, because apparently a load of them are just purple for some reason. I suppose there was the old purple country, the old yellow country that was here. I kind of forgot about them. I completely forgot about them, in fact, but they did exist. Yeah, it's very close to the Himalayas of that city. I suppose there's like rivers, you know. The Andaman Islands is pretty interested in being friends with these guys. You know, they do lots of war games in the Bay of Bengal, so the Andaman Islands might end up joining the South Asian Syndicate, because, you know, nice, cool new independent country. As well, you might have these guys, possibly either these guys, definitely not the Lime Team, almost definitely not the Lime Team, because they are very annoyed at these countries. But they could see an expanse around the Bengali area, especially the independents like Malaysia, Sumatra, these Maldivian islands. Lots of possibilities for more alliances in the future. Speaking of alliances though, the Green Team would love to build themselves up. I don't know, was that correct English? I think it was. Anyway, they'd love to build themselves a new alliance. I think it was. So they get 2 countries to join this alliance, those 2 countries being the Mint country and this sort of Bulgarian knockoff. They look a lot like Bulgaria. Kind of inverted though. Anyway, I like this country. So the Green Team has also asked this one, but they said, go away. I don't like you very much. You oppress people. And the Green Team, yeah, they kind of just go like, dude, you didn't help me in that war. You've turned down my alliance. I think you know what that means. Let's invade. So our Green Team troops will pretty quickly cross this sea, and they manage to take this major city very quickly. They're also going to call in their recently acquired ally, the knockoff Bulgarian country, to start an invasion in the south. So they pretty quickly invade this city. I mean, it's pretty defended down here, kind of. They weren't really expecting an invasion, but recently they've been trying to put stuff up, because they kind of went, oh, the Bulgarians just joined us. They're not Bulgarian, but it looks like Bulgaria, a bit. I like it. And they look more like Bulgaria than these guys do. I do like how these borders look. I'm pretty proud of these borders. I'm proud of you guys though. You did not do well. The Green Team, as one of the strongest countries in the world, went out, enforced their new ally, and enforced the border and how far they've just reached. As they lead forces from all across this area. The capital of the greenish country is right over here. Do you guys not have a new capital? I think it must be this city, but anyway, I completely forgot to do that, I suppose. They link up these front lines in a kind of like encirclement thing. So that's cool. Take all of this, and you know, they don't really need to go too far into this war. There's not a whole lot they need to grab, but they're doing quite a lot of fighting regardless. Bulgaria is nearly out of steam. They capture one more major city and they got like, Green Team, could we end this war? Our people have no real want to be in this war, so they decide to end it. However, things aren't looking amazing in the dark greenish country. They might be about to have more bad things happen to them. We'll see though, you know, other people could invade them sometime in the future, but I mean, that would be very unkind, wouldn't it? Wars aren't an easily justifiable thing. But, well, these guys have been pretty strong. They gained a lot of land recently. They've expanded quite a lot in this area, and they control a lot of the trade through the steppes, whilst people really use this for trade. Now it's kind of redundant. Trade routes aren't as important anymore, unfortunately. So lots of people like the Green Team and this dark green country. It's good for some people who are trapped in the mountains though, because you can trade with anyone now. Like the pink country. Pink country is like, what is this? It's just all mountains there. They're basically Tibet. But actually, the red country is probably in a worse spot, to be honest. Yeah, I think you're more mountains. Maybe this bit, the Sichuan, is that area? That's probably not all mountains. Anyway, Green Team expansion though. So they kind of expanded along a big line over here. To a line of where they want stuff. So there's that. As for their new ally, I feel like I'm not drawing this border very well, but I'm quite far away from it. As their new ally, they will receive all of this territory. So there we go. I don't really know which colour the ally was. It was some colour. I don't know, I'll work it out. Oh, I need to work it out though. Give me a sec. Alright, cool. Line 1 to 30. Nice. I mean, the dark green country got away from this war relatively unscathed. They lost a lot of territory, but not all of it. I was kind of expecting the green team to take more, and you probably were too. Possibly full annexation. But no, they let them kind of go away unscathed. However, the dark green country will be forced to join the green team to do alliance, along with the mid one and their new friend, the Bulgarian look-alike country. That's another formal name. I think that was the capital of the old gold country that was here. They just didn't bring back after World War II. They just went, nope, oh well, you joined our alliance, you are our friend. Not gonna bring you back. Speaking of that alliance, that's the one alliance I forgot about. This alliance, the Russian one. Yeah, this alliance is staying. We have the Russians, the Crimeans, the Korean country, and these three guys are kind of thinking about joining. They might join the next episode. And there's a few other countries they could join, like this Estonian one. You might have these guys join. And if you look at the brown team sphere influence, sphere influence, I always get a bit confused with this because I was like, is it countries that you influence? Because surely you influence literally everyone you border. But I think it's more like countries who what you do kind of affects them a lot. So it's something a bit like this. The Crimea would have their own sphere of influence. They wouldn't have any sphere really in the green team. Probably look something a bit like this. So it's pretty good. It's lots of Eastern European stuff. Of course, quite a few of these Eastern European nations are influenced by Russia, but also Crimea is kind of hit over here as well. I mean, their sphere influence. I mean, Russia would kind of be under it, but Russia's more powerful than them. So their sphere is kind of over, or what? It's kind of over a lot of these new countries. So something a bit like this. For the Crimeans, which makes a lot of sense. The sludge team is kind of under the influence of all of these guys now. The British sphere influence is confusing because they've got loads of colonies. They're influencing most of the colonial powers with their colonies, and influencing most people because they're the strongest country in the world. That's the problem with colonial ones, but luckily these two guys aren't colonial, so it's a lot easier to show. Also, these guys should have an influence over them as well, and also the Arabian Union, so that's something to keep in mind. Kind of. I mean, not as much. The Arabian Union has an influence. I'm just doing spheres of influence now at this point, but I'm kind of enjoying it, so I might just keep doing that for a second. Probably the purple team, to be honest. Something. I mean, you'll influence those guys as well, of course, because you've already got them in that sphere. Maybe something like this. I drew that really badly. Yeah, probably something like this for the sphere influence. Of course, when these colonies get independence, it'll be a lot easier to show. Yeah, anyway, I quite enjoyed drawing that. See you again next time, I suppose. It's the end of the episode, really. That was quite abrupt. I like drawing the spheres of influence. It's kind of fun. But more wars, more independent stuff. Actually, quite a lot of independent stuff. And more to do with the Cold War, as in this episode we kind of got to like 1953, no, 1952. Probably halfway through 1952, but, 5 years since World War II ended. Anyway, I'll see you again next time. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice rest of your day. Goodbye.